Thanks for checking out Scotty's Hobbies. Today we're looking at this 2005 Ford F150 with a 5.4 liter engine in it. We're going to be looking at a very common code in this generation Ford. I'm using my Bluetooth reader right here that connects to my phone, and I'm using the Torque app to get the codes. This is just so you can see what is in the computer. I'm going to pull the codes right here, and what comes up are codes P0021 and P0022. Those codes are pertaining to the camshaft position sensors. A and B are both bad on this vehicle. They are conveniently placed up on the front side of the valve covers, which I'll show you in just a moment. Oh, there we are right here. Go ahead and disconnect it. This is the easiest part. They're both conveniently located, which is pretty nice for this job. To get the sensor off, you need to remove the boot that's in the, the valve cover itself. I got a bad shot on this one, but stick with me, it does get a lot better. You need to pry up on the side of that boot just to get something under it so you can get some leverage to push up on it. You'll see in just a second I'm going to use a pick to pull it out all the way. Prying up on it was just to give me a little bit of leverage or to pop it up a little so I could pull up on the boot itself with this pick, like I said. If you need any of these tools that I'm using, make sure you look for a link in the description below to purchase those. This pick, maybe that boot, for sure the sensor, and some other tools that we're going to be using coming up. Set that boot off to the side. There is the sensor. That's all it really takes to get to this side. The other side is a little bit harder, and I'll go over it real quick at the end of this video. To remove it, you're going to need a 1/4 inch extension and a T27 Torx bit to remove the sensor itself. When I'm removing the sensor, I like to back the screw up maybe about halfway, a few turns out, and then I'll pull the sensor up so I could remove the screw with the sensor. That eliminates the issue of dropping the screw into the valve cover or into the top of the head right there, so you don't have to make this a way bigger job than it needs to be. If you need a basic mechanic set, there will be a link in the description below to purchase that as well. Loosen the screw while I'm pulling up. You can see they'll come up together. The screw is all the way into the sensor. It completely eliminates the problem of dropping it in there. Take your time. Don't rush anything. This job is real easy. I'd say with the basic tools that's needed, if you have them around, this job's going to take you about 2 hours to do both sides. That's if you take your time. Here is the sensor itself. Now we're going to set it off to the side. Well, first make sure you look at it, make sure there's no debris in there, see if you see something obvious of damage in the engine. Get some fresh oil with your new sensor. Lube up the O-rings and your seals and your screens right there so it'll slide into the hole nice and easy. Can't use too much of this. More lube the better. When I install the sensor, I'm going to use my socket to hold the screw down. I'm going to line everything up and do not remove the screw from the little hole that it goes through. I'm holding up on the sensor to keep some pressure on the screw and pushing down on the screw with that extension and loosely starting the screw. Again, do everything you can to not drop this screw in there. Don't make this job hard. Now when I'm tightening this up, you got to understand that these heads are made of soft metal, so don't go too tight on this screw. I would say if you're going to use a torque wrench, I couldn't find a torque specification, but I wouldn't go more than 9 to 11 pounds, and that's a little on the high side probably. Keep it pretty loose, nice loose German torque specs of good and tight. Make sure the seal area is nice and clean before you install your new seal. You don't want any debris on there or any like buildup. Make sure it's all nice and clean so you get a perfect seal. You don't want to replace the seal later on or realize that it's not sealing later because you have oil on the ground. Cleaned up nice and good. Try to use a lint-free towel if you can. Might be a link in the description for those as well. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, and share while you're watching this, please. If this video helps you out, comment below with the year, make, and model of the vehicle that you have, or if you know that this vehicle or video will work for another vehicle. When you're installing your new boot or the O-ring around the sensor, it goes on one way only. The ears need to line up with the tabs on the valve cover. Get that all positioned, and you're going to find a bigger, larger, deep socket like this one. This is a 32 millimeter deep socket with a 6-inch, half-inch extension. Now just going to grab the hammer, give it a few nice little whacks. Not going to hit it too hard at all. There you go. You can see it's going right down, no problems at all. You don't want to hit too hard, and you want to make sure that it's nice and even. When you feel you have beat it enough and you think the surface of the O-ring or seal is flush with the valve cover, run your finger around it. Just make sure you don't feel a little lip. If you do, give it a little focused tap to get it nice and flush. But don't worry about it too much, as long as you have a nice seal around it. That's it. If you have the driver's side to do, or when you do the driver's side, it's pretty much the same as the passenger, but you got to remove your intake tube right here, push your power steering reservoir off to the side, and it's a little bit harder to get to, but you can. You can see I did do both sides, and it was a little bit more time consuming, but with a little bit of patience and the tools, it was able to be done with the room I had right here. Again, look for links in the description below to purchase parts and tools if you need them. I appreciate everybody's views. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys on the next hopefully helpful video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a comment below with the year, make, and model of the vehicle that this video helped you guys on as well. I'll see you again. Thanks.